Hello, I'm Pearl Fontaine. Welcome to National Focus. Coming up, House of Parliament convenes on Wednesday. The OECS Authority discusses LIAT, and solid waste teaches waste management. Stay with us as we bring you details of these stories and others when National Focus returns.
What's for dinner?
I know, but you want Cheryl.
Who? Cheryl? Oh, babes, that's nothing.
Nothing within there, but that is nothing.
Hon,
Ah,
come on.
whatever.
You know you're my number one.
And she's number what, 10? Plenty married women get engaged from the husband these days. I don't want to be one of them. From now on, I'm looking out for me.
But babes, I only talk to the woman.
Until I'm certain, this will take care of both of us, if you're lucky.
Your family depends on you. Don't take home aids.
Documentaries and in-depth discussions, community walkthroughs, and Yes We Care. See it all on GIS Channel 7.
Welcome back. The fourth meeting of the third session of the 8th Parliament under the Commonwealth of Dominica Constitution is scheduled to commence on Wednesday at 10 a.m. at the House of Parliament. The schedule of supplementary appropriation for the third and fourth quarter is expected to be presented, as well as introductions of a bill for an act to amend the Pensions Act, Public Service Act, and the Marriage Act. The Prime Minister and Minister for Finance will also table a bill for the Public Procurement and Contract Administration Act, which will seek to enhance efficiency, competition, fairness, and transparency in the use of public funds, among other things. It will also provide suppliers and contractors with the opportunity to contest decision-making with respect to the procurement of goods, services, and works by the Government of Dominica and other public bodies. In more news, at the conclusion of the OECS Authority's 56th meeting in Rosalie last week, discussions were held relating to Dominica's vested interests in LIAT. Prime Minister of Dominica, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, reiterated that government's determination to invest $8 million in LIAT is in fact resolute.
The decision of the government of Dominica to invest in LIAT still stands. We will continue to proceed with it. We believe it is in the best interest of Dominica. It is in the best interest of all the people who have invested their lives earning into the tourism industry in Dominica. And when we can say all we want about LIAT, you know, all the criticism we can levy against LIAT. But LIAT is the only carrier that can take us from Dominica to Antigua or St. Vincent to Grenada. And if we are prepared to ensure that we have transportation within the region, to engender greater spirit of integration, to bring in more tourists to our islands, we have to play our part with LIAT.
Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit explained to Dominicans that the success of LIAT will positively influence the state of the island's tourism industry.
If the governments do not play their part, you will have great difficulty in getting the private sector to come forward, because in large measure, LIAT is providing a public good, a public service to the region. We had discussions rather with the new CEO of LIAT recently, that is to say my technical people. They have submitted to me recommendations as to our involvement in LIAT. And that should go to the Cabinet soon for Cabinet's ratification of, and further ratification of the position. As to the quantum, we will in the next week or so be in a position to indicate how much we will invest. But we are firmly committed to LIAT, because we see it as a means of protecting the investments and the gains that we made, particularly with regards to tourism. And so we remain true to our intention of investing in LIAT.
According to the Prime Minister, Dominicans ought to appreciate the consistency with which LIAT has serviced Dominica and the Caribbean for the past decades.
But we were shareholders of LIAT in 1974. And nothing really has changed insofar as air transportation in the region. We still have LIAT there. No, the others that have come in during 1974 and now, they've all disappeared for various reasons. So we have to appreciate the the greater benefits of LIAT to the region. And we're not investing unmindful of the issues of administration and maybe cost of operations and so forth at all. But we're looking at the greater benefit to Dominica, because this is a decision we're taking in the national interest of our country. And we're committed to invest in LIAT and advancing that particular matter.
OECS Authority Chairman and Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Honorable Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, also spoke on the issue of LIAT. In response to Dominica's financial commitment to LIAT, Dr. Gonsalves says he is confident in the decision to support the carrier.
Had we not bought out Caribbean Star, LIAT that is, and if we had allowed Star to rule the roost, when some governments were enamored by Stanford, at least a particular government, what would have happened to us when they arrested Stanford? Take we belly make boat? So that this is a very serious issue. So I am so fortified by what the Prime Minister of Dominica has said and what the Prime Minister of St. Lucia has told me, and I'm hoping that other colleagues will come aboard. I acknowledge that this is a difficult time for colleague heads of government to go into new expenditure areas. I know the difficulty, so I'm not in any way being critical of colleagues in that regard, but we have to make a Herculean effort to address this matter of air transportation.
Dr. Gonsalves further explained that a strategy has been developed to boost the airline's income.
We have a fleet replacement, fleet renewal, and a fleet expansion program. As part of the immediate fleet renewal, we are purchasing 6 new 50-seater planes to deal with the core of LIAT's business, because 6 of the aircraft which we have, the Dash 8's 300, the de Havilland aircraft out of Canada, we're spending too much money on them in relation to maintenance because LIAT prides its safety. 3 of those, the new aircraft, is supposed to come, not 300s because they don't make those anymore, but 50-seaters nevertheless. Supposed to come in the second half of next year. We've been engaged with the manufacturers of this particular type of plane, and 3 the following year.
The chairman disclosed that the 6 new airplanes will cost the airline $283 million. Dr. Gonsalves further clarified the expansion plan for LIAT.
Then in about another 6 months' time, we have to make a decision about fleet expansion for 70-seaters to take us to improve the runs to Dominican Republic, go to Haiti, Jamaica, and critically to Puerto Rico. In fact, because of changes taking place, we're even going to be a little late. We have to find a way to do some stopgap operations, because the 70-seater ATR 72s of the Eagle, they have announced that they're going to discontinue in April next year. So when the planes drop you off in Puerto Rico, what are you going to get to bring you down to Dominica? You see, my brother? So there is, that is affecting all of us. Everybody.
Some kids,
so you see the importance of, first, the fleet renewal with the 6 new planes, and then the fleet expansion.
Following the expansion of the fleet, LIAT will move to service regional routes including Haiti and Florida. In other news, the Ministry of Social Services, in collaboration with the Bureau of Gender Affairs and other stakeholders, launched the calendar of events that includes Orange Day, World AIDS Day, International Day for Persons with Disabilities, and Human Rights Day. Representatives from several institutions spoke at the press conference last Friday. Josephine Dublin-Prince from the Dominica National Council of Women called for purple ribbon pins to be worn throughout the 16 days of activism in the fight against gender violence.
We are hoping that as many persons as possible would be wearing this lilac ribbon starting today until probably December 10th. And I think we have been doing that from the time we have been commemorating the series of activities. And we are also seeking from those who wear the lilac ribbon a small token that will go towards our Family Crisis Intervention Center.
Dublin-Prince invited the general public to join in the Dominica National Council of Women's quest to end gender violence at an open day on Thursday.
It's an opportunity for persons from the public to get to know what we're about, to speak to our staff, to speak to the various programs that we will be having. And also we want people to actually write on a large piece of white cloth that we'll be having at the office. Write on this particular cloth what you think should be done in a quest to eradicate gender-based violence. You can also use it creatively, utilizing your artistic skills, and we are hoping that as many persons as possible take that opportunity during this open day and actually assist us, because we are also seeking more volunteers in the fight.
The Dominica Association of Persons with Disabilities is doing their part in the 16-day activism by observing International Day for Persons with Disabilities on December 3rd. Nathalie Murthy is Executive Director of the DAPD.
We have developed a program of activities over a period of 3 days, 2nd to the 4th, and International Day of Persons with Disabilities for us this year is being organized to celebrate government's ratification of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and to continue with our awareness raising as is provided for in this convention under Article 8.
The Executive Director spoke about some of the DAPD's activities.
We begin on Sunday, December 2nd, in the village of Marigot, where we are going to bring as many persons with disabilities together and other social partners, where we'll be giving out information on this convention and, of course, looking at the most important area of implementation, which is going to be very critical if this convention is to have any meaning for us as persons with disabilities. So we are going to give our members and persons with disabilities an opportunity to talk about themselves, to talk about the convention, what they think, and so on and so on, and of course interact and socialize with each other.
We'll bring you more from the other partners in a subsequent newscast. The President of Dominica, His Excellency Eliud Williams, continues on his quest to spread early Christmas cheer to social institutions across the island. On Friday, the President and members of his charity foundation visited the Alpha Center in Goodwill, where they were embraced by students of the Alpha Center. Antoine Raffles spoke of the work being done there and says the President's charity foundation holds the Alpha Center in high regard.
We all appreciate the good work you're all doing, and it may be one of the reasons that you have been the recipient of our contribution from day one.
A member of the charity's foundation handed the donation over to an associate of the Alpha Center. Students of the Alpha Center serenaded the President with a song.
It's a small world after all.
small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world.
The president had a few words to say to the students and staff of the Alpha Center.
It is nice to be here to hear all these wonderful voices, beautiful, beautiful singing. And while I sat there, I kept thinking that Miss Dupuy might want to recruit a couple of the members to her choir in the St. Paul's Parish. I really heard some wonderful singing. So it's really good to be here. I'm glad you're here. It is clear that the board members and staff are doing a wonderful job. The place is very well maintained.
He also spoke about International Day for the Disabled and how, while many people are not labeled disabled, in many aspects they still are.
Next week, as we observe International Day for the Disabled, I am reminded that most of us, in fact many of us, have disabilities of one kind or other. Sometimes it may not be obvious as it may be in some cases. If I were to remove spectacles, then I can't read. So all of us have some disability or other, or most of us, and certainly that should help us appreciate the work that is being done with our students here who have some developmental challenges. So I'm really, really glad to be here. Glad that the foundation is able to make a contribution to continue to help you with the work you're doing, and to congratulate the board and staff on the work that you're doing. It's clearly a very good work, very important work, and I'm very pleased to see the way the center, the school, is being kept and maintained.
A card was presented to the president by one of the students. The Alpha Center was established in 1974. The Workshop for the Blind was another beneficiary of proceeds from the President's Charity Foundation dinner on Friday. Ms. Phillip, on behalf of the President's Charity Foundation, presented the donation to Deputy Chairperson Joan Thomas of the Workshop for the Blind.
On behalf of the President's Charity Foundation, I'm happy to be here to present this check to you and to wish your institution all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Annie Anthony expressed her gratitude on behalf of the workshop.
On behalf of all of us here, every worker here, most of all the senior worker, myself, and the board members, I would like to say thank you to the Charity Foundation for organization who have seen it worthy to make this an annual and a regular service to come here and to at least make our season, which is the Christmas season, a brighter one.
The president interacted with a few of the workers and inspected some of their handiwork before his departure. Dominicans can look out for the Solid Waste Management Corporation in various communities around the island as they promote waste management and composting. Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, Gino Jacob, disclosed to GIS News last week that the organization is on a drive to educate the public on those subjects.
The Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation has held a number of meetings with various village councils and the Portsmouth Town Council. Those meetings are to sensitize councils, the corporation's effort in its way forward to do with the reduce, reuse, and recycling, and we added a C, composting initiative of the corporation. This is important for us because we are getting councils back on board with us as important stakeholders and partners in our continuing effort to disseminate information to our various publics. And our publics are kindergarten, housewives or homeowners, businesses in those various localities.
Those meetings, which are being held in collaboration with village councils, are being called spot meetings and are open forums where discussions are encouraged. The intention, Jacob says, is to help create a healthy environment.
We want to work with councils to help change the mindset of our various publics. To change the mindset of people takes a long time. It won't be a one-shot in the arm thing, but it will take maybe a whole generation. So we want to start with a young generation, the school children, the housewives, and teach them how to reduce the waste, how to reuse waste, and how to recycle, and what efforts the corporation is doing re-recycling and composting. This whole effort of keeping Dominica clean is not only for the tourists or the visitors to our shores, but first and foremost for the health of our people, because as we know, a healthy citizenry is important for the whole development of Dominica as a nation. So these meetings so far have been quite successful. We've had about 8 meetings, and we're going to continue to have other meetings. This week we're going to Bagatelle, Fontaine area, and Tetmon, and we are slating other meetings with other councils who we have not visited. But so far, it is important for us, and we are very thankful to those councils who have made time and found time to meeting with us. And we are very glad and satisfied with the responses that we've gotten so far from those councils.
And that's the English segment of the news. We now join McPherson St. Luce for the Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à ces nouvelles en créole. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, Parlement Dominique oui ouvert pour 4e, 8e Parlement en l'occasion Victoria Street en Wozo, mercredi demain, le 28 novembre l'année 2012, qui a commencé à 10h bon matin. Comme la coutume, Speaker Honorable Alex Boyd Knight, qui rentré, conduit la prière, et puis il y a aussi une parole compliment. Confirmation minutes meeting qui déjà passé, qui prend place. Speaker qui fait annoncement et puis papier qui présenté. Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt qui présenté papier Supplementary Appropriation 3e et puis 4e quart janvier pour juin l'année salam. Bagay qui concerne sécurité sociale, pension, Banque Développement Caraïbe qui aussi présenté. Ministère légal Honorable Ian Douglas qui fait présentation Report Integrity Commission. Il y a aussi une nouvelle votre gouvernement et puis des affaires qui pas officielles. Plusieurs membres opposition qui aussi expecté pour demander check à gouvernement là. Ministère gouvernement qui aussi fait annoncement qui concerne ministry ayo et puis bill 9 qui présenté audio. Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt qui aussi présenté supplementary estimates pour l'année financière qui sont venus au bout en juin l'année salam avant les prix qui 93 millions de dollars l'argent. C'est estimé ça en parmi d'autres qu'a expecté pour débat en Parlement. En d'autres nouvelles, Management Solid Waste Dominic qu'a tient en series meeting a de manière sensibiliser le public là avec à continuer pour tient environ la bien propre. Parole ça là sorti officier relations publiques Jeno Jacob. Selon M. Jacob, il a collaboré et puis village conseil disséminer information par le public là.
Nouvelle importance meeting ça c'est pour bas conseil l'information comptant 3 R, ça les 3 R, c'est reduce, reuse et puis recycling aussi pour compost, zodis. Et puis pour nous ça bien important parce que nous pour continuer à éduquer le public là à ce manière où ça servir moins bitin qui a la cause des zodis, bitin comme pan, plastique, bouteille, manière où ça oui servir ces bitin ça là et puis aussi manière où ça compost, ça compost pour nous est important parce que autant fois moun ka manger différents bidons comme figue et puis d'achine et puis bidons qui ça pourri et puis nous ka voir ça ka venir en zodis nous et puis nous ka dit nous pas laisser qualité bidons ça venir à landfill là. So concernant nous pour continuer à éduquer le public là pour faire savent qui bailler information à ce manière yo ça end solid waste ça travailler puis solid waste pour faire certain que landfill là nous bâti qui supposé durer pour 15 années nous ka voir que landfill là pour nous 7 années resté en place pour mettre les ordres. Nous ka dit moun qui si yo fait ces bidons ça surtout avec puis solid waste si yo mettez moins servi moins pan moins bouteille moins plastique yo séparer ces bidons ça là c'est ordres ça là à caillou et puis yo quitter ordres qui ça pourri yo quitter en lancouyo en lacouyo yo quitter en lantouyo yo quitter en jardin yo pour servir comme fumier et puis yo ça servait ça aussi pour planter légumes qui bon pour cadavres, légumes organiques Et puis, vous savez qu'il y a la terre à présent, moun ka gade pour bitin qui organically grown foods. Et puis, ça important pour santé nous. Comme ça, nous, ces meetings là, nous tiens ces meetings là, nous continuer de ces meetings là, et puis divers councils.
En autre nouvelle, Chairman OECS, Premier Ministre Honorable Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, Hudson Vincent et puis Grenadines, qu'a fait parole qui organisation yo tient discussion et puis secteur privé pour discuter développement secteur salam. Dr. Gonzalez fait parole salam au bout de grand meeting OECS qui sorti venir au bout en Dominique semaine passée. Yo était d'accord que officier secteur public brancher ensemble et puis ça privé pour former un comité travail avancé secteur business OECS. Il y a l'autre bagaille qui discuté en meeting salam, ces affaires visa qui Canada mettait pour moun OECS voyager pays salam. Autorité là aussi bien plaisir que moun OECS pas que mérite visa voyager pays European Union pour moins que 90 jours. Wajman Salah, c'est le Premier ministre Gonzalez, ça prend à peu près 6 mois pour venir en réalité. Dr. Gonzalez aussi fait parole qui y a joindre encore des fois bonnet l'année prochaine. Finalement, division coopérative pour observer l'année Salah où là yo mettez attention à ces plaisirs bagailles qui concernent coopérative. Quand l'année Salah qui venir au bout, d'autres activités qui tiennent un premier spectacle Kaiso Weekend Salah. M. René Toussaint, c'est officier de division coopérative.
En janvier, coopérative pour jeunes gens. C'est ça nous commençons. Moi, coopérative jeunes gens, janvier, nous tenions public discussion, nous tenions coopérative, ça coopérative qui a fait femmes et hommes. Nous tenions workshop, combien de différents workshops. Nous tenions OECS Summit Dominique dans les salles OECS. Create un summit dans les salles là tout pays en OECS là venu Dominique ensemble en Dominique et nous tenions une grande conférence en Guantas dans les salles aussi avec nous competition moi ça là c'est aussi moi coopérative moun pêcher et 1er décembre nous avons une grande calypso compétition là pour en Harlem Plaza.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles à Creole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson, Luce. Au revoir.
Stay tuned for the tip of the day. Today's tip is about learning how to be healthy. Excuses, excuses, excuses. They always seem to keep us from getting where we really want to be. It's time to push excuses off for good so you can drop that extra weight, quit your junk food habit, or finally get in shape. Ever tell yourself, I'm too tired to exercise? Well, here's some food for thought. Telling your body you're too tired to exercise only downshifts your energy production. Try telling your body that you need to walk and you'll generate the energy you need. Make healthy behaviors automatic by programming your body to want to move. And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments. Please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm, or you can visit our website at news.gov.dm. You could also visit our GIS Dominica pages on both YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Pearl Fontaine. Thanks for watching.
It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world.